This video is going to cover the man command, which is the system's manual pager. First, we'll look at a general components overview. Most Linux distributions will have man installed by default. If you want to verify, you can use the which command to determine where that command is installed. If you're using an RPM-based distribution, you can use something like rpm-qf, which will query that file that you just found and tell you which package it came from. In this case, that is man-db. If you do an rpm-ql on that package, and here we're filtering for any binaries, we can see all the associated commands that are provided by that package. If you wanted to, you can look at any configuration files provided with this package. In this case, we're doing that with rpm-qc. We'll see there are a couple of configuration files that we could tweak. And if you wanted to see all files included with this package, just simply run rpm-ql without piping it into grep. We'll see there are a number of language and other man-related files provided. Next, if we run man with --help, we'll see every possible option that we could provide to this command. And you'll notice in most cases there's a single dash option and a double dash long option. In most cases, it's recommended to use the double dash long options for scripts. That way your scripts become self-documenting. But when you're firing something off at the command line quickly, it's obviously a lot quicker to use the single dash command options. Next, we'll look at the structure of a man page. First, if you're curious, we can use the file command to determine what type of file that man page is. We'll see here that it's actually a gzipped compressed data file. So when you run the man command, it will uncompress that data and provide it in a more visually appealing manner. Now in this case, we're running man on man itself, and we'll just look at the general layout of a manual page. And see at the top we've got man with 1 in parentheses, and we'll see what that means in a minute. But we have these subsections, such as name, synopsis, description. And here in the man description, we'll see that there are various sections. We mentioned this is man 1, which is the section 1 of the man page. That means it's an executable program. And there are other sections for system calls, library calls, and system administration commands, and so forth. We'll take a look at some of those examples a little bit later. A very helpful subsection for each man page is the examples section. This will give you a real-world example of a command with options and a description of what that combination will provide you. It's often helpful to look at these examples when you're trying to determine exactly which options you need. And then in this case, we have a detailed overview and some other subsections. Another very helpful subsection in any man page is the See Also subsection. And this will point you to other commands and their corresponding sections in their man pages which relate to this command. Next, we'll take a look at some real-world example use of man. Now for this example, we're going to use the chmod command. Don't worry if you don't know this command that well. We're just going to use it as an example for our man command. Now here we're going to use the -f option, which is synonymous with the whatis command. And this will tell you all of the available man sections for that particular command. In this case, we see the output of the man-f combination of options is the same as the whatis command. Next, we can run man with --all or -a. And what this does is it will bring up every possible man section that it has for that command. It will start with section 1. Then if you hit return, you'll get the next section available. In this case, it's 1p, the programmer's manual. And you can continue to hit return, or as you see here, you can skip with Control D to skip the very next man section, or you can quit out of that option with Control-C, which we've done here. Next, we'll look at man-K. Now, this is a way to search all available man pages for a match of whatever command you give it. In this case, we're looking for all matching man pages that mention Chmod. And we'll see that there are different man pages that return. And we can look at any one of those by hitting return. We can skip one with Control-D, or we can quit out of this with Control-C. Now that we know that there are various sections available, we can take a look at the specific Section 2 man page for Chmod, and this will bring that man page up. And you can continue to do that with other sections that you desire. Lastly, we'll take a look at alternative viewing methods for the man command. Now, this is particularly helpful if you want to have a more visually appealing view into a man page, or maybe save it for offline viewing. In this case, we're going to define a variable called browser. Don't worry if this is a little bit alien to you, but in this case, we're going to just export browser equals user bin Firefox. And all we're doing is saying this is the browser that this system is using. Now, if you use man with the option -H or --HTML, you can bring up an HTML version of that man page. Now, if you're not comfortable setting variables in your environment, you can also supply the particular path to Firefox via the --HTML option to man. But anyway, we see here that we have a nice HTML view of the man page with clickable links to the subsections. And lastly, we'll take a look at a way to generate a PDF version of a man page. So we'll call the --trough option, or -T, and then we'll pipe the result of that into PS to PDF command. And this will take that man page and convert it using the PS to PDF command into a viewable portable document format. Then we can open it up using the Events program, which is the default within the Fedora distribution. And you'll see there's a nice offline viewable version of that man page. Now, if you're not sure what your default PDF viewer is, you can always bring up your file browser and double-click on the PDF, or you could install something like Adobe's Acrobat